Hi everyone, thanks for watching. This is my follow-up to Stamp Wars 25 video. Our sponsor was Stampers Anonymous, and let's get started. A big thank you to Stampers Anonymous. They sent us this stamp set called Department Store. It's brand new from Tim Holtz. We were to create a 6x6 card and a mini slimline card. These are the cards that I created, and I thought I would use some of the same paper and make a tag. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is grab my stamping blocks and my VersaFine Clair inks in Chianti and Rainforest. Chianti is a purplish burgundy color and Rainforest is green, obviously. I'm also going to grab my favorite color of distress ink for vintage type projects, and that's Vintage Photo. While I'm stamping, let me tell you a little bit about the coupon code that's available through Stampers Anonymous. In addition to sponsoring Stamp Wars and sending the members of the FSC team the complimentary stamp sets, which we didn't even know what the stamp sets were until we opened them. That's what Stamp Wars is all about, in case you haven't watched it. We do have a 15% off coupon that's good until December 3rd, and there's free shipping at Stampers Anonymous as well. In addition, Crafty Critta from Australia, Scott, the owner of Crafty Critta, was our guest host, and he generously offered a coupon for FSC subscribers, 50% off foil art and toner sheets, and that expires on November 28th. So that one expires a lot quicker than the Stampers Anonymous one, but we're just really appreciative of the opportunity to pass those savings along to the FSC. And again, really thankful to have such a great stamp set this time for Stamp Wars, and all of us that participated had a great time, and we had a lot of people this time. We had Nancy, Chow, me, Stacy, and T. All of us received the stamp sets and were creating live on Nancy's YouTube channel. And then Nancy has a set to give away. So if you go over to Nancy's channel and watch her video, you can learn about her contest. So I'll also be having a giveaway as part of my video, although I won't be giving away the stamp set. I like it way too much. Sorry, you guys. I'm keeping this one. But I will give away some other crafty fun things from my stash. And all you need to do is let me know when it comes to creating holiday cards. Are you the type that creates a traditional holiday card using reds and greens, or do you like to spice it up with some unusual colors? So for example, we were all challenged to incorporate purple by Scott when he was our host, and when he was doing sabotages, he said we had to put purple on at least one of our cards. So that was fun because that's my favorite color. But for today's coloring, I am using my Castle Art metallic colored pencils, and I'm coloring these berries different shades of red, and then I'm going to color the ribbon purple, and the bells will be gold. And I am using a cream colored cardstock. I do like to use the off-white color, or I also have this other cardstock that is sort of like, looks like parchment or linen. I like to use that too when I'm creating anything with Stampers Anonymous, anything that has like a vintage feel to it. And I'm really fast forwarding this for the sake of time. This is nowhere near as fast as I would color. But, I'm not the best colorist in the world, and so I really not the best person to coach somebody on how to color. So I just tried to use my dark color in the areas where the artist has, the artist, Tim Holtz, has already shaded things. And then I use the lighter color in the areas where it's not shaded. And then I just blend with Gamsol. Gamsol is a mineral spirit, and it's odorless. Inky Antics sells a bottle of Gamsol and a container with a sponge dauber at the top. That way you can roll your blending stumps across there. You'll see me using it later in the video. So here's my Gamsol, and I'm just squeezing a little bit in my cap, and I mean just a little bit, because you don't want this to spill. It's messy, and it is a mineral spirit. If you don't have Gamsol, you could use baby oil, I guess, but it's not the same. Baby oil is a lot thicker. Gamsol is pretty much, looks just like water. But it does help to blend in those lines so they don't look so pronounced whenever you're doing your coloring. And then I'm just holding up my pencils that I'm using. If you are interested, you can click pause and look at the colors that I'm using. And if you have this set from Castle Arts, again, these are the metallics. All right, now I'm going to color in the bells. Now again, this stamp set is called Department Store, and it has the large bells. It has a beautiful wreath, as well as some vintage looking tags and sentiment that's also really cool and vintage looking. Merry Christmas. And speaking of tags, I'm going to be making a tag today, because a lot of times, like, this is a pretty substantial image, and a lot of times people might not think that you could make a tag with something this big, but really you can. Even though it's a nice size, it only hangs off a little bit. And that's perfectly fine if you're going to be tying it to a gift bag or taping it onto a present. It's not that much of an overage. Earlier, in case you're wondering, I did use that vintage photo, and I stamped the musical notes, because this set not only has the bells and the wreath, but it also has this really cool set of musical notes. So I stamped that first, and then I used that VersaFine Clair pigment ink, and I stamped the wreath, and I actually stamped off before stamping it onto my paper, because pigment ink is very saturated. So I was not looking for that to be the main focal point of my card. So that's why I stamped off first. Yep, these are just real classic bells. You could really color them any color, and with any medium. You could use alcohol markers, which is what I used for my 6x6 card that I made in Stamp Wars. And going back to Stamp Wars, this is the 25th version that we've done, and we've been doing it for 2 years now. And again, nobody knows what the stamp set is. It comes in the mail. It's clearly marked "Do Not Open." We open it live online on Nancy's YouTube channel, and we are given 1 hour to make usually 2 cards, or like a card and a tag. Usually sabotages are thrown in. So for example, you know, one of the sabotages could be, you know, you must do embossing, or you must use an embossing folder, or, you know, you must not use a stamping platform. You're not allowed to use a stamping platform. We even had one time when we were particularly challenged where we could only stamp or craft with one hand. So those are always interesting. They definitely keep it interesting, especially for the people who are watching. We have a good time, and it's once a month, and it's usually the third Saturday of the month, although that can change depending on our schedules. All right, so I'm almost done coloring this. Next, I will fussy cut. All right, so I fast forwarded to the point where I'm almost done fussy cutting, and then I will keep the film rolling as I'm assembling the tag. All right, I've got my decal trimmer. I'm going to just trim my sentiment using the decal trimmer. It gives it a nice jaggedy border. And then I'll just take that and first of all, I have to get my cut looking even. And then I'm going to take that and just take the Chianti ink and just dab it on the edges there, just to give it a little bit of a border around it. Because I don't want to put a matte layer down because I don't have that much space. It's a tag, so it's not that big. It's actually the same size as my slimline card. I used foam tape to pop up that sentiment. Now I have some ribbon from my stash. It's a nice plaid ribbon, and I'm going to actually tie it in a bow once I get it through the hole here. I did a hole punch off camera. Actually taped my stamped panel, and then I glued the bells down. No, I used foam tape on the bells too. Oh, wait a minute. Am I getting myself confused? I used foam tape on the bells on my 6x6 card. But on my tag, I think I just glued it. Yeah. Let's see what else here about this. I'm not the best at tying bows, so this takes a minute. Oh, I also used some shimmering marker, clear marker, shimmering on the bells and the ribbon to make it a little sparkly. Yeah, I always ask my friend Becky to make my bows at Stamp Club. I am part of a club. We get together once a month and we make cards. And Becky is the one who invited me to participate, and she makes the best bows. All right, there's the bow. I did it. It's good enough for me. All right, hang in there, and I'll show you some still photos of my finished projects. If you're new to my channel, I'd love it if you would subscribe and ring the bell so that you're notified of when I do post videos or go live. And don't forget to leave a comment on this video letting me know what type of cards you like to create for the holidays, whether it be a traditional or maybe using different colors than traditional. In addition to my giveaways, Nancy, T, Chow, Stacy are also going to be having giveaways on their channels. So make sure you find their channels and go watch their videos for your chance to win. And don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up. And if you're new, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so that you're notified of all future videos. Thanks so much for watching. Have a hopeful day. Bye-bye.